As I watched the Donald Trump address to the Congress, I thought that it was the most amazing speech ever that I heard being uttered by a president. What made it more amazing is that it was nothing new, really. What was new was the context. It was reiterating the same things that he ran his campaign on. The difference was, as he was running his campaign, he was addressing it basically to the public, to the voters, in order to get elected. Everybody does that. But the difference here was that this time he was basically talking to the Congress. And post his election, which most of, I mean, none of them do really, like you see a big letdown after they got those votes. What I could notice was that on the contrary of other presidents, and especially George Bush Jr. and Barack Obama, um, Donald Trump was standing there and like really talking to people. It wasn't like these two, like Barack Obama and George Bush, who had, when they were doing their address and their speeches, it felt like they were all in some type of sick private joke. Like you would see the expressions of winking here and there, pointing the finger, and a little bit like, "Hey, I'm president. I kind of can't believe it. Could have been you, Larry." And it was among them. Here, it was more like he was talking to them, but for the sake of the public, mainly, he was talking to the public, and he was reiterating once again all of his promises, except one, that is that drained the swamp, and I would say even further, which is lock her up. That was not said. So that was not said. This is a little bit of a letdown. I mean, it's too early to call it, but I mean, he appointed Jeff Sessions, and everybody celebrated that appointing because he's known and renowned to be this tough guy, which he is. But I'm gonna tell you everything I looked about Jeff Sessions is everything that has been used to demonize him, to make him come out in a negative light. Well, it's true. Jeff Sessions is, no matter how he appears, like this gentler old man, is a piece of shit. This guy is a real piece of shit. Everything that has been said about him is true. He put a guy to prison in his early 20s for life, just for dealing some drugs. That was no violence involved, nothing outrageous. It was I would say just exchange of goods, that people wanted, that he had, and it was done between consenting adults. It just happens that the substance is forbidden. It's forbidden today. It might be authorized another day, just like alcohol was forbidden. Yeah, at any rate, it did not. It was a violation of the law, of course, but it did not warrant such a big stay in prison. And Obama ended up pardoning him after 20 years that the guy spent for bullshit drugs. So Jeff Sessions is an asshole. He's a little prick. He's a real piece of shit, and he's a mean and tough guy. And the only thing that could justify the presence of this guy as an attorney general is that he in fact goes after Hillary and other powerful people, and hopefully the pedophilia ring. And if this does not happen, nothing warrants like the presence of this guy as an attorney general. Because I'm gonna tell you, like, a lot of people are thinking I have nothing to hide. I haven't done anything, but maybe your friend does. Maybe he went a little bit astray in his life. He went through tough times. Maybe your uncle does. Maybe your brother does. And you want them to finish in fucking jail doing 20, 30 years for bullshit crimes? Because this is what's gonna happen with this guy. He's gonna lock people up. So now the only reward is that to see the satisfaction of seeing Hillary Clinton locked up. Otherwise, it's just like a different stranglehold on freedoms. Yeah, because you have crime and you have crime. You know, of course, killing somebody is not the same as selling something that is forbidden. Just happens to be forbidden for whatever. So that was a little bit of a letdown, but overall, yes, he delivered, like reiterated those 95% of promises that he ran on, and it was just inspiring. It was amazing. I didn't have tears in my eyes, but I did have butterflies in my chest, in my stomach. I really felt hopeful, and it seems like he intends to keep it up, because he keeps reminding what the new goals are. So I also got to see some people dressed in white. They were apparently Democrats. So I was a little bit. I didn't know what was up. I knew there was a thing going on, like a little bunch of people dressed in white, and little touches and dots of purple among them. So I guess it has to do with the Purple Revolution. At first I thought it was Puff Daddy's entourage, that was there and all dressed in white in some type of white fashion. It felt like a statement, especially in that they were not standing up or really applauding. So it felt definitely like a statement, but I didn't know which one. So some people are saying that it represents the KKK. I mean, they can only represent the KKK themselves. It's. I mean, it really. I see it more as mental patients, but which are dressed in white too. So, but God knows. Anyway, so that was just a few thoughts on the Donald Trump Congress address. Take care.